special thank you to Shannon Curtis, singer-songwriter, for your song I Know, as the theme song for Tea Time, a Cup of Loving Kindness podcast series. It's always a joy having it playing here at Tea Time, and we look forward to it spreading joy and love to more hearts around the world. Thank you, Shannon. It always takes me a second, so thanks for bearing with me.
That's okay. I'm a balled up mess of nerves right now too, so
all the way. Yeah. We're doing it together. All the way from the ridge in High Ridge, Missouri. This is okay, I'm gonna do it one more time. All the way from the ridge in High Ridge, Missouri. This is Huggy Kindness with Huggy Kindness Studios. And today we're on Tea Time, a Cup of Loving Kindness, a podcast series, really just a community garden for people to stand in the light and be seen for who they are, with the passions and the gifts that they bring to this wonderful universe that we are in. And today I have my wonderful friend, Amber, owner of Nature's Divine, who is an author and just an amazing individual who's going to share with us some events in her life where she had moments of loving kindness. And we'll just dive right in. And Amber, can you speak to a moment of where you wish someone would have extended loving kindness to you, or you extended loving kindness to someone else? And what did that mean for you when you showed up for someone? And how did that make the difference in the relationship?
Thank you, Huggy, for having me on here. I've been through so much in my life, and when you wish someone would extend loving and kindness, it's mainly when you're at your darkest moments. And having someone pick you up when you're like a wet puddle on the floor, it gives you that light post of you're not done. You're not done with your mission. Your fight is still there. Sometimes we need people around us to pick us back up to where that we can be able to heal, dust ourselves off, and get back into the battlefield, because I believe our life is a battlefield. We are at a spiritual war between good and evil. So it's like every day you walk out, you need to have your armor on because you're about to face some really dark forces. But when someone is that light post of sharing loving kindness, that warmth, I identify it as the loving and warmth and kindness that I got from my grandmother. Anything that I did that was wrong, I was her favorite, and I love telling all my cousins that, but no matter what I did, she would still have that loving kindness in her eyes. Even if I did disappoint her, she knew that I was in a transition of learning, because that's what this life is about. It's learning from your experiences, from your mistakes, your big mistakes, your little mistakes, from everything that you touch is a learning experience. It's a magical moment if we look at it like that. When someone is in your life to make it harder, you have to take that step back, because that's not what this life is designed for. It's to spread love, just like our grandmother did to us. And I had nothing. I've been stripped away from everything that I built more than once. I could count 5 times where everything was destroyed and I had to rebuild. And it was those loving kindness light posts that helped me get to that next moment when I didn't see anything out of that tunnel that I was in.
That's so wonderful that you bring up about your grandma and sharing these wholehearted experiences, these energetic experiences that are just like a hug, And I think, I speak of this often when working with different individuals in the field as a social worker, and how often people just want to be seen for who they are. And sometimes, extending that hug and just showing someone that, yes, they're human is the keyhole that opens up the door for them to have just so much more in their lives. Can you speak to any times in your life where maybe you were that hug for someone, or like you mentioned, your grandma was that hug for you? She just always saw this radiance, this joy, this you you just did so many wonderful things great in her life, and she let you show that, even though maybe you were like me, and I was very mischievous at times, and maybe my grandma didn't let me know how much that pissed her off, but
Yeah.
she still showed me this amount of love. And I remember I we would sit on the back porch of the back porch, and we would be on her porch swing. And every time we would go to a nearby gas station and get cappuccino, and we would just sit on that swing and just swing and swing and swing, and we would just laugh our butts off, not even really laughing about anything. And it's those moments that are hugs for me. To like the question that I asked about your grandma, and if you could speak to those moments where you felt like you offered a hug to someone else.
Absolutely. In my business with Nature's Divine for over 25 years, I have been healing people on a holistic platform. I have had so many clients and patients come in, and that, well, you said it. Everybody just wants to be seen, heard, respected, loved, and cherished. And it's crazy how so many people go against that.
Yeah.
Because of their own internal struggle. People put that on you. You have to be strong enough to say, no, this was not a part of my world. I have seen a lot of people that their whole life completely changed within 1 hour of a session that I had, because they needed that outlet. They needed to speak. They needed that hug. I have a gift where thoughts and words come into my head just at random times, and I get that push from the spirit to say it now. You need to say this.
Yeah.
And there's a patient of mine that was struggling. She just lost her mother, and just this wave came over me that said, tell her that she is always near her. She's never left her side, and she will still be there for you to help and protect you and guide you. And just the look on her face when I said that, I had no idea what she was going through. And when I said that, her eyes just teared up. And she goes, thank you so much for saying this to me. This is exactly what I've been needing to hear.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about my mother all morning. And for you to say this to me just changed my world. She walked out knowing that her mother is right behind her. Our grandparents are right behind us, and we cannot forget. We cannot forget the wisdom and the knowledge and the struggle that everybody had to endure to get where they are today. And in my passion in my life is to make it better, to leave it better than what it was, to make that person feel a lot better when they walked in. And that's what I did for 25 years. People changed their whole life. They felt like a new human being because of proper healing techniques. And when you're sitting across, a patient and you're listening to them, and it's not just 3 to 5 minutes to where you're herded like cattle, moved into the next room, and then it's actually identifying, because what is going on in their internal body is because of emotional stress.
Yeah.
When we have emotional distress, it causes dis-ease in the body.
Yeah.
And it pops out in our internal organs, in our spine, in our immune system. And when we are centered in our head, it's amazing how clear the vision that we have, that mission that we have, what we were here to do before we signed up coming down on Earth.
Beautiful. You speak to this, and it reminds me of something. Amber and I met in a very magical way, and I just want to share this with everybody. We went to the Gesundheit Institute in West Virginia, which is a um, I don't know how to describe the
Magical.
word. Yes, magical.
Magical.
It might have even more words to describe it than I do.
Yeah.
But it is Patch Adams' place of just magic to help bring together a free hospital. And Patch Adams, and Amber, fill in any holes that I have, is really this wonderful spirit, loving spirit, who is here to bring about joy and love and happiness and healing to just friends. And he defines friends as just any human being. And Amber and I went to a course this past summer called Designing Your Humanism, or Constructing Your Humanism. And it's just funny how the stars aligned for us to be able to show up in that space together. And it created this beautiful, magical relationship and friendship that we have. And I want to make a distinction to what you were just sharing about this proper healing, and how that's really what Patch has tried to do for his existence for these 50 years or so that he's been practicing medicine, and wanting to bring in that holistic healing, that wholehearted human-centered healing. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do here too on Tea Time, a Cup of Loving Kindness podcast series, where we're really diving into the wholeheartedness of each individual. We're really making those spiritual and holistic connections so that people can just truly be witnessed for their gifts.
Community, because I mean, you got to think about it. Like, everybody just came off of lockdown.
Right.
So we were told not to have that community. We were told not to be around people.
Yeah.
But Patch is saying that's where the disconnect is.
Right. Yeah.
When you're around people, that's when healing happens and beautiful magic happens. The power community is very powerful. It is. There's a lot of game changers in life, and this is one of them. When we have connection, during COVID, we were told not to connect, not to touch, not to do this, but we're human beings. We need that touch. We need that hugs. We need that connection. We need to be eye to eye, face to face, not toe to toe.
Yeah. I noticed when we left that space, I started crying, and I was playing this beautiful song that my sister's boyfriend gave to me before I stepped into Huggy Kindness on my way to Patch's Gesundheit Institute. And I was, thinking of this song as being my song of soaring up into the clouds and having the sun be on my face when I, have a film of myself one day. Just speaking to flying as this loving kindness fairy and sharing that love with the world. And so, I go there and I feel that love, that immense amount of love, and it was coming from the heart. And I was no longer like, my ears were not like searching for like answers in someone's face if they like me or not. Like, no, like it was undeniably from each person there. The love was coming directly from this heart space. And I without a doubt knew that everybody there, and you included, loved me wholeheartedly. And so when I was leaving and the plane is starting to take flight, I'm starting to get sad,
Yeah.
And I'm putting the headphones on to listen to this song, and the tears are just falling. And they were tears of joy and tears of just playing every memory of that happened there. And what I realized is it became the wind beneath my wings.
That's beautiful.
Going back to what you were sharing with your healing experience with one of these clients that you had, do you think that created wind beneath this person's wings when you were able to share with them that their mother is with them or their grandmother is there with them?
Yes. She still contacts me and reaches out to me. We kind of do like a touch and go, like, hey, here I am. She ended up moving away, which I was kind of sad. Okay. You build a relationship with all your patients. They become your family. But it's like we never missed a beat when we do talk. And that connection, nobody can break it. Nobody can destroy it. and it's solid, it's purity, and it's from a right heart motivation.
Yeah.
So whenever you see the negative side of certain people coming at you, these are perfect examples of for you to be in the light, not in darkness.
I bring that up to clients a lot. I talk about it as a battery pack and building resilience and having these resiliency factors. And I think having these powerful, strong, wholehearted, no doubt in that love connections are part of building that battery pack.
Yeah.
And do you find in those tough times with people that a few of these connections can help guide you through certain times? And if so, can you speak to more of those experiences?
Yes. I believe every day is a new day to create something new, but it's also it's a new day that is being created for you.
Yeah.
And every day you have a light post. Every day you have a sign that God or your universe, your creator is talking to you. And it's just being center and present, being present and extending that love. Not very many people know how to function in that level because they might be a product of their own environment.
Okay.
They might not have the education or understanding. But it's here. It's right here. And when you say it, loving kindness, that just opens up that loving kindness. It takes down those layers. I used to tell, I still do, it's kind of funny, that I have built this big, huge fortress all the way to heaven, and the man of my dreams will be sent down from God himself,
awesome.
like landed in my life.
That's awesome.
But in life, that's what we do.
Yeah.
We build up these fortresses because of our pain and our hurt.
Right.
But when we're stuck in that mindset, it doesn't allow the beauty to see the beauty in life that we have every single day.
Yes.
I look outside and I'm like, that's a beautiful blue sky. It's a beautiful flower. And in my personal life, I could be going through, like, I just shut my business down. I almost died from COVID. I had fires, floods, everything. But in my center, my peace, I knew deep down that there was something better for me.
Yeah. Lately, I've had some people that have been a part of my life for a while that have kind of maybe heard that, just loving kindness has become more of this practice that I'm doing. And so they use it in a way of kind of like a jab towards me or something like, oh, loving kindness, and I'm just curious, what are some ways for you that you sink into that heart space that maybe can help some people that are really having some trouble with, often the ego is the thing that kind of creates that, and it wants us to stay away from joy because, if we get too joyful, we might lose joy. Yeah. So, it's better just to stay away from it and then just be unhappy altogether. But what are some things that you do for you, or what are some things that you offer to some clients of yours that can be of assistance in sinking into that heart space and really filling yourself up with the love and the hugs that you were talking about that your grandmother gave you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to love ourselves first before we can love others. And when people identify as doing something to love yourself, some people might view that as selfish. Like, say you go out and you get therapy done, or you go and get body work done. This is all self-care, and it's not selfish. And this is where you get your power back. You stop extending yourself to people and start working on yourself to where that you will be able to focus and stay in that mindset. A lot of people don't understand your words are very powerful. What you say is very powerful. That vibration that comes out of your voice is projected into the universe, and it comes right back around.
Okay.
So when I say I love you, that's a very powerful, positive, loving. But if I say I don't like you, I hate the word hate. It's a negative word. But the more negative words you use, the more negative you're going to be in your mindset.
Okay.
So that's the first step that I would encourage people to do, is just to change your mindset. Focus on positive things. You can do affirmations in the morning. You could do, Bible verses. You can do encouraging stories, or just volunteering. Do what I love to do is I love to go outside and do yoga. I love to ground. I have a trapeze swing that is 9 feet in the air that I love to have fun with. I'm like a little kid, and I love to sit and write. That's something that I haven't been able to do, but I've had this huge passion for it, and now I have the time. I'm able to put and process all my stuff, and that allowed me to write my book. But just encouraging words, staying in that mindset, going out for a brisk walk, because that will declutter your head. If you're too much in your head, your body is telling you something. Your body is telling you to be active. Go outside, go eat some great food, go be around some great people, go get in nature again, and these are great little things that you can do around your house. And you don't need any money. You don't need any people to do it. It's just something that you can internally do. Sit down and write what you would like to do, or what your hobbies are, what your passion is, and then go from there. Everybody has unique gifts that we were given when we were born. Not very many people even know what kind of gifts that they have. And I tell people, you have superpowers that you don't even know yet.
Yes, that's awesome. Yes, and so I think we're going to coin a term here: loving kindness showers or loving kindness baths, ways to just immerse yourself in these nutrients and these floral gifts of just self-soothing and helping yourself move through the days, celebrating, having gratitude for all the things that you are joyful for and grateful for. I always think of gratitude as this really powerful word, that you can be grateful for things in the past and grateful for the things coming from the future. And that when you're grateful for something, it really calls us into the moment. And when you're grateful and you're really feeling all of those wonderful things and you're feeling it's something you're feeling in the moment. So when I'm grateful for this, moment of swinging on the porch with my grandma, and the tears start to come, or the laughing starts to come, and the smile's there, I'm actually reliving it right there in this moment. Yeah. And so I try to use that as a way to help others around me, and also help myself when I'm struggling or trying to move through something intense, that there is this great power in imagination. And I like to think of imagination as hope. They're the same. And so I like to imagine sometimes using gratitude and visualizations as a way to help me create this experience, a different emotion set, a different battery pack to move me through that. Are there moments in your life that are like that, or is this something unique to me, or do you find this is something that can be relatable to others, to other beings out there?
Absolutely. I mean, there's things in my life that have completely flipped upside down. And I had to take the pieces that I had left over and build a new foundation with. Yeah. You realize a lot of things when you have nothing. And you realize, even from the people that were in your life that showed you loving kindness, even at your darkest moments, and even the ones that didn't, we just, that's part of life. But true colors show over a period of time. And I'd like to highlight, not to stay in the toxic positivity of life. Like, we're human beings. Right. We're not going to be in that positivity every single day, because somebody might pull in front of you and you're just like,
it's a shock to the system, I almost died. This person, almost cut me off, and oh my gosh, and I like to think I got this tattoo of a smiley and a frowny.
Yes. Oh, that's so cool.
And there was a moment with a client where I ended up getting bit. And I like to think of emotions as these signals, and how, they're just that. They're just simply signals letting us know that something's up. Well, in that situation, there's some fear coming because, oh my gosh, I almost, whatever is about to happen, so I need to get my body in gear to be able to adjust and keep going in life, and keep going in this driving situation that I find myself in right now. And so the same thing goes with these relationships in general with other human beings. And yes, toxic positivity can be a downfall, because the reality is we have emotions, and emotions are just signals. So thank you for sharing that very important piece to the puzzle of practicing loving kindness.
Even, in school, we weren't taught very well about our emotions and how to handle them. And even as young children, being a boy, that was really hard because you were told you cannot cry, you cannot show emotion. But in reality, there is a woman's side and a man's side in one. We're going to have those feelings of emotions on both sides, from a feminine to a male, masculine. And when we identify which one's ours, which one's real, which one's right, am I reacting? Am I being triggered? There's a lot of things that we can kind of change our perspective of just the product. I love always saying the product of our environment. Sometimes we don't choose to be in the environment, but we can choose to react and choose a better way. We have free volition to pick the right or pick the better path.
I find that too, because when you were speaking to these, difficult times that kind of birthed out, these more just where you are today, it was the same thing for me with my mental health journey and living with bipolar disorder and going through that whole system and still going through it today, just recently having another episode that I went through, and how challenging the system is, and how much you often feel like a prisoner in it and you don't have a voice. And so here I am again, someone that's lived this for 10 years now. And my family's been there in support, and if I didn't have them, it would make it even more challenging. But knowing what they're going through as well as a caregiver. And so, from where I started and not knowing very much anything about the field and not knowing very much anything about the illness of bipolar disorder, and then now being in this area of, actually being a clinician, it's like very wild because I still feel like a prisoner when I get into the system, when I get into the hospital. And it's hard for me to have a voice. It's hard for me to advocate for myself because of how much that is. But I don't let myself be all happy and joyful, but I don't let myself be all completely, powerless either. I still let out the anger because I am very mad at the moment that you're not letting me advocate for myself and my care. I'm also not going to let that completely derail me because I also want to get better and heal myself. So loving kindness for me is this movement, this dance in these engagements, in these relationships that I have with other people. Do you find that's something that happens in your life too?
Yes.
Okay.
All the time. I mean, I walk out that door and I see color. I see
So beautiful.
I see magic. And so when I see people, I'm like, oh, hey, there's a person.
Yeah.
But you also catch them at their moment.
Yeah.
And when you mirror each other, you connect, they might not be having a good day.
Okay.
But their energy might be showing they're not having a good day.
Okay.
You don't have to absorb that. You can have that, like, see it for what it is.
Okay.
And be like, hey, I see you.
Yeah.
I see your light or not.
So that kind of happened today. I was having some anxiety about filming this and just really being just all perfect and put together in this tying of the row or I'm messing up at the moment, tying of the ribbon, but how beautiful these real vulnerable moments are. And I want to share how that's really where creativity and imagination can be born for hope to come out. And hope is a big piece of loving kindness.
Yeah.
When we are hopeful, we can actually create the better today that we're wanting, the well-being that we're wanting for each other. And so, yes, and being a little vulnerable this morning, and having some scaredness of wanting to do this right and whatever. Now I'm, letting it sink away, and I'm having more fun and enjoying this, because I'm not trying to make it all perfect. I'm just trying to be here in this moment. And I want to thank you more and more and more as we kind of move through this session today, as this is starting to unfold. And I want more people to be able to have those experiences where we don't have to tie the ribbon and have it be all perfect. That we can step into this space and be seen as just as we are, and that the ums and the pauses are just a part of the magic of it. They're the perfections, the imperfections that I have. And that's the beauty of this community garden, Loving Kindness Land. And I welcome you here today to it. And I'm so grateful that you are joining me in this space, just to fill it up with what it's meant to be for. And another wonderful friend that's here as a beginning, starting guest star on this show, is really helping to grow this garden and have the flowers start to come out. And I was thinking of a lotus flower, and a lot of times those muddy waters, the things that we think are negative and all of this, the things that are just so weighing us down, are really the things that have to be there for that lotus flower to bloom.
Yes.
And thank you for helping to share those moments of your life that are both the nutrients of that water and also the blooms that have come out of that.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
We all have a story to share. And, I'm just a regular person with a big story behind myself. But every day I wake up and I make the choice to make something better in my life, to do something better in my life, and to even extend that loving kindness. But that's internal. When people get to this point, it's because they have experienced a lot of pain.
Right.
And they want to show people that there is a better world, and we are nice, and we are loving, and we are kind and caring and considerate, and we want to love people. We want to cherish them. We don't want to destroy them or tear down everything that they built up.
Right.
For their pleasure.
Yeah. And for those people out there that maybe haven't experienced as much pain, what can be that person that can extend the loving kindness to that person that's sitting there on the street, just cold and just needs that warmth and that hug that your grandma gave you. Like, I think of that often. I hear this so much in the self-care, or it comes out of when I hear the word self-care in the healthcare field. And they're always like, just go home, put a smile on your face, and come back the next day, and don't even talk about any of that pain that you had, that you were struggling with yesterday. And I always am just like, oh, bummer, that was a missed opportunity, because when you say, oh, that person isn't ready, like, they aren't going to make a difference in their life until they're ready to be helped. I call BS.
Yeah, I do too.
Because there's been moments when I was helping these unhoused individuals on the streets, and they said, thank you so much for seeing me as a human. I have not felt like a human being in the last 6 months. It was that turned around their day, that we then made steps in their progress of treatment. And it was powerful. And they then made their way, But if we sit on our high horse and we get to go home to a warm bed each night, and we say that this person isn't doing anything or they're not trying, but it's my job there that day to help this person. Part of helping them is just sitting down next to them and giving them that warmth, that hug. And that's what I would do. And I know that's so against the field of, clinical practice, the transference and everything. But clinical practice as being human and a friend to these people like Patch does.
Yeah.
And Patch's care is so wonderful, and I love that movie. It brings me to tears every time. But the real Patch is the same way, and the truth. And I want to share a little story that he shared with me. He just cared so much about me and wanted to make sure that I was well. And so often when I heard, Maddie, you need to lose weight, or Huggy, you need to lose weight, I have multiple names in my life, so that's why I use all these different names that people call me.
I love it.
But, Patch shared with me, hey, I think it's time that we, consider a serious weight loss journey. And when it came from him, it was that love coming from this heart space. And in no doubt, I knew he was in all lovingness of just caring and wanting to see me thrive. And that is the kind of care that we need to bring in this healthcare field, in every interaction and engagement we have with everybody. Now, it can seem overwhelming, but in reality, I think it reduces the burden that we feel in these engagements we have with each other. And so I want this community garden to be a space where we can practice more of this with each other. We can really get raw. We can, practice all the difficulties and the challenges that we face with practicing loving kindness, so that we can get better at it, so that it can become more of a daily practice and less of this burdening, routine or a chore that we have to do. And
Right.
It becomes something that is just a part of our engagements, helping each other along, that we really are a village and we're caring for one another all the way through and through, that no one should have to experience suffering or victories alone, that we walk each other in, through, and out of the fire. We love each other through the victories, and we love each other safely home. That is my wish and my hope for humanity, all in all. Amber, I'm very grateful that you're here today. Do you have any other things that are on your heart's mind that you want to share with the world, of your passions of today, of what we talked about with loving kindness?
Oh, I have a lot.
Yeah, keep going.
When we were on the land with Patch Adams, that was the most big, huge turning point in my life.
Me too.
And it was more of like a reset.
Yeah.
For me. And yeah, but also getting to know you and everybody else that was there that I connected with. It was very clear to me that this is the perfect place for anybody that has been struggling and they don't have a place to go to. This would be a perfect place for healing all the way around, because Patch's dream, and they have an unfinished hospital that is currently in the last stages of being built, and we're trying to raise awareness to get this hospital built. And he has a fully function with health practitioners, doctors, to where that the same person, from the janitor to the anesthesia, is being paid the same salary.
Okay.
And
that's beautiful.
Love is a currency, laughter is a currency, connection, being in nature, sitting underneath the waterfalls was probably the most spiritual, magical moment that I had. And I'm a Cherokee Indian, so it made me feel more connected. And it made me think of like Pocahontas. I mean, we were in Pocahontas
definitely.
County.
Oh, that is so cool. Yes, I forgot about that. Yeah.
So I imagined underneath the waterfall,
Yeah.
Being an Indian and living life simple, and where people treated you with loving and kindness, because we didn't have all these distractions of the world to not allow us to function that way.
And stars were winking. They were so crystal clear out there. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And the sing-alongs we had on the big porch. These were memories. Well, they are here in my heart forever and ever and ever. They really are the wind beneath my wing that are carrying me through.
Yeah, anytime I'm having a bad day, and I do have bad days, I think of the laughing body where everybody was on the ground. And us walking up hearing to like laughter and we didn't know what happened.
Yeah.
And then walking in just and seeing Patch and having him say this was the biggest laughing body that he's ever seen, that just made me want to have a bigger
Yes.
area to do
Laughing
it.
body. Yeah, so for everybody out there that wasn't there, Amber, me, and a few others ran to a gas station, which is, an hour away or something. Because, I mean, the Gesundheit Institute is out in a beautiful place in the mountains. And so we were coming back, and as we're walking up to the Dasha, which is the main building, we're like hearing this laughter, but we don't see anybody in the Dasha. And we're like, where did everybody go? And as we're approaching and we're getting closer, we're starting to see that everybody's laying on the floor and they're doing this thing called a laughing body. And it was the most hilarious. And once we joined, it was the most fun thing I've ever done in my life.
Oh yeah, I was giggling right when we walked in the doors, and I couldn't stop.
I couldn't not be giggly. It was the giggly fest. I had so much fun. I had so much fun. Like, see, I can't not it's there. I can.
Make the head on your belly down.
I know, but this is an outcome. I know, it's like a Roman camp workout.
I can feel it. And we laid on each other's bellies, like our head on each other's bellies, and then someone would just fake laugh or real laugh, and then it just started a contagious laugh fest. And it was
like a domino effect.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to do that again. And it'd be cool to have it really like a domino, around the whole Gesundheit Institute, and see if we could fill up the air of that whole Gesundheit space with the laughing body. I picture these beautiful, fun events, and see how long can we stretch that laughing body out there.
Wouldn't that be cool if when they did their grand opening, that's how they did it?
Let's do that. That would be so cool. Yeah, that would be cool.
Like the cutting of the ribbon. Everybody lay down.
Oh, yeah. And it would be the song of the cutting of the ribbon.
Yes.
Yeah. A big laugh. And then he'll probably have someone fart at the end, or a whoopee cushion or something. Yes. That would be funny. Because, Patch has been a clown before he was a doctor. So there's just a lot of giggliness and just being out there as a way to help inspire people's curiosity.
Yeah.
And that's part of what Huggy Kindness is about too. I mean, I changed my name back this past October, and people, since I've changed my name, are just, wow, that's really out there. And they can't believe it. They'll be shocked sometimes when I go to a hotel and they'll be like, is this your real name? And I'll be like, yes.
It's a beautiful name.
Thank you. It's a name. It's a statement. So Huggy smiles kindness. It's a sentence, and it's my intention for what I bring to this space and this world. And it's permission too, when people are in my space, to be who they are. That they can be as out there or as in there as however they need to be. And I love that for each and every one of us.
Well, hearing your name for the first time, I felt safe.
Okay, that's awesome. That's beautiful.
I did. I was like, this guy, he's not going to hurt me.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, very, very refreshing.
Okay. So there's been times in your life where it's been tough, and to hear someone like my name and know hey, this person has got you. I got you. I'm not going to hurt you. I have some just deep amount, that love that we were talking about before, that is just pure. It's that undoubtable love. And I hope more people can experience that along their paths.
Absolutely. And Huggy, you and I both know the reason I believe the stars aligned, because we both were internally struggling with something. Yeah. And God was like, nope, these two need to be staying together. Yep. Build each other up and stay on that path where we're headed, and I'm encouraged every time I talk to you, and
Thank you.
I hope I can do the same to you.
Yes, you are. Yes.
That's my dream, is just to empower, encourage, inspire, and share my wisdom that has been passed down from my grandmother, and my ancient wisdom that I empower, just like you. I mean, you
Thank you.
empower ancient wisdom, and when you tap into it, it's so freeing, really is.
Thank you. Yeah, there was this moment too at the Gesundheit Institute where I had a friend there that I met just a day before, and I really wanted to wear a crop top like I saw one of these other
Yeah.
people wearing. And they were like, then wear a crop top. And it gave me enough permission to wear it, And I was thinking about the toxic, positivity that we were speaking of earlier, and how often we're told don't have any negative thoughts and things like that. And there is this balance, to it. But like you were saying, building each other up, like when we find ourselves in times of trouble, like the song says, like just letting that be, like letting it be that I worry that people are going to see my belly hanging out with this crop top. But the beautiful thing was, this friend unconditionally loved me wholeheartedly no matter what, and was like, just wear the crop top. So the whole rest of the day I had belly hanging out and I wore the crop top.
And you were so happy.
Thank you.
You were
It was
so
the most
happy.
beautiful thing. And so, Amber, the same thing for you. Yes, you bring so much joy, so much inspiration, so much light into my life. There were so many experiences that weekend that I could share with the world, and I know more and more of those will come out in future endeavors that we're doing together. And I look forward to more people hearing those stories. But it was those moments there that just shared that we were both, yes, going through something, but that doesn't mean that we can't hang out. That doesn't mean that we have to be silo and just be in the darkness by ourselves. No, we can walk those dark paths together, but it wasn't just completely darkness. There was light in there too. There was joy. There was belly laughing, and so we can walk our paths parallel, and we can give each other permission sometimes to just wear the crop top,
Yes.
that sometimes that's necessary.
That's right.
And so thank you for just being you and showing up to that space and sharing with me the wonderful gifts that you bring to this experience.
Can we talk about the ferry incident when you came
Yes,
down?
please. Yes. So do you want me to tell my story first of the toilet?
Yes.
Okay. So we were getting ready to go out clowning at we were going to go clowning out in Lewisburg, a small town near the Gesundheit Institute. And so this was the day before, and people were going to go down to the clowning closet at the Gesundheit Institute and get all their outfits and stuff put together so that we could all be clowns for this clowning adventure. And I was going to be Huggy Kindness, so I already brought my costume and everything. And I kind of already knew this was going to be a thing, so I got prepared for that piece of it, because I was stepping into Huggy Kindness for the first time in my existence here as a human being. And so anyway, we went down there, and it was like a fourth mile or maybe a little less or more walking down there from the Dasha. And I was walking with a friend, and we get down there, and I need to use the bathroom. And so I was just going to use the bathroom down on the main floor, and I was going to be cool with that. But this friend was like, hey, let's go up, to the clowning closet. I was like, okay. She's like, there's probably a bathroom up there. I was like, all right. So then one of the people that had been there before was like, yeah, there's a bathroom up here in this preschool area. I was like, all right. So she took me up there. She flushed the toilet, and it was all good. And I was like, cool, it's time to go to the bathroom. Well, we've been living communally this whole time. And I was like, oh, yes, I have some nice quiet time to myself. I was just going to go number one, but I think I'm going to go number two now. And anyway, totally clogged the thing. And it was overflowing like Old Faithful. The next thing you know, water is just coming over the top of this, and inches of water are filling up. And I'm like, oh my gosh. the toilet is going to go through to the clowning closet. I cannot believe this is about to happen. Oh my God. I was freaking. I look over and there's like a paper towel roll, but there's only like a sheet of like, there's only a sheet on there. I was like, oh, I do not know what to do. I look behind me and there are these beautiful quilts and I'm just like, oh my God, I would hate myself if I used these quilts for this right now. I took a deep breath and then I looked under the quilts and there were like 20 of these mattress pad covers. So I just started hugging that toilet with these mattress pad covers. And as I'm like hugging these things, I was like, wow, this is a whole new definition of Huggy Smiles kindness. And I had my friends come up and they helped me like clean it all up and everything. And it got me over my fear of pooping in front of people, which was like something that's been a thing my whole life. So that was a really great gift. And then we packed everything up and I started doing the wash back at the dasha the rest of the day. And we were getting it ready for this guy to come and he was going to talk to Patch and it was going to be really cool. And we were getting the half-built building or the building, I forgot the name of it, but it's what the hospital will be built as. And we were getting it ready with some lights and I ended up sliding and falling in kind of this muddy area. And Amber like did some magical healing right away and I felt like better. So I went and I took a shower and then that's when Amber is going to explain the rest of the story. Yes. As I'm chasing out the laundry throughout the rest of the evening.
I think about this moment every time because it just brightens me. It just like immediately laughter. So we were sitting at the dacha table with the two investors. It was me, Wayne, and Susan Patch, and the other two investors with the wife. And all of a sudden I see something move at the corner of my eye and I just turned and all I can see is Huggy Kindness just floating so gracefully down the steps. But you had lights on. I didn't see this before. You had with pink lights.
Yeah, there were LED like purple lights, and they were my fairy wings. Yeah, it was like a veil, and they had LED purple beaded lights throughout them.
Right, and we're trying to just have a professional meeting.
I know. Oh my God.
All of a sudden, I turned back and I just looked at the investor, and my eyes just got like, "How is he going to handle this?" You know. And then he looks at you and his eyes got real big and he goes, well, you know, y'all do little things weird about around here, but it works.
That is so awesome.
And you were just trying to change your laundry.
I know, that's all I know. Because I was like, when I'm sorry, I can't get my words out.
I know.
When am I going to do it? You know, I leave to go back in just a few days. I would hate to have these like poopy mattress back covers like just laying around. And then I was trying to be respectful because like I knew that you guys were like trying to have some peace and quiet for this meeting, and yeah,
we were trying to be professional.
Tiptoe down the stairs
as clowns are running around us.
Yes, right. So it worked out perfectly. Yeah,
it really did. They were actually very impressed.
That's awesome. That is so beautiful.
But I just, you know, and the way he said it, you know, y'all do things a little weird around here, but it works.
Yeah, and it's true. You know,
it did.
Like, it seems a little weird to most of society, but I think there needs to be a flip of the Earth's axis. I think there needs to be more of that love seeping through. And love is really us just being these beautiful flowers. And
yes,
you know,
it can be weird. It can be just out there. It could be not. It could be calm. And you know, love is so many different languages, but the most important thing I believe is love is spelled time, Time.
Ooh, I like that. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true. Because, quality time is one of my biggest love appreciation languages. And, spending quality time with people, which is that whole weekend at, the Gesundheit Institute was that quality, just wholeheartedness, people just loving me for just, I don't have words for it. I really don't. It was a connection. I just undoubtedly, that's what I'm going to come back to. I undoubtedly knew that they loved me, and my ears were not looking for
Red
something to tell me
flags.
that they hated me, or that they didn't like me, or that I'm being too much for them, or I'm too negative for them.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
yeah,
I hate that for you.
yeah.
Because you're an amazing human being.
Yeah, and I spent so many times in being larger as a larger individual in society and having those kind of comments come. Also by moving through the mental health field and having mania and kind of over talking some people sometimes, or having rapid speech, or having the anxiety that comes with the mania. I
Yeah.
would often kind of be told sometimes that I'm too much. And that's understandable, that in that time that it was, for that person, they just couldn't handle that energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I wish they would have maybe learned to say it differently, that,
Yeah.
hey, this isn't you. This is just something that you're going through. I think too often we attach a, person's behaviors to their identity, but a person is not their behaviors. There's so much more than that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love you so much, Amber.
I love you too, Huggy. I mean, even I like to see it as you see them for who they are and where they are. And if it's not positive for you, not like you're going to get anything out of it.
Yeah.
Is it encouraging? Is it inspiring? Let's start there. It's not about material. It's not about money. It's not about what I can do for you. It's about how are you being loving and kind in my world and making it better?
Yeah.
Or am I having to take care of you?
Right.
And then then you show me the loving kindness. And that's another thing. I mean, people love to manipulate to show you love when they're ready to show love, only because they're ready to get something out of it.
It's like, what about being a witness first? Just me witnessing you as this gift, and you witnessing me for the gifts that I bring.
Yes.
Sometimes, it doesn't have to be us celebrating together, but it could be me just witnessing you celebrating a victory that you're having for yourself.
Right.
There's this, power that I've found in sitting on a bench, like a park bench, or sitting at a bench watching the train cars go by, or if I'm at the park bench watching the clouds pass through the sky.
I love that.
When I'm a witness to it, it's so powerful, because the clouds don't become storms, and I can see everything in the sky. I can see the birds that are still flying. I can see the moon that's peeking through, the daylight. And that is really beautiful to me, because I don't lose sight of the amazingness of this individual, of this experience that I'm in. But when I start clinging on to certain aspects of things, or get into the extremes of, oh, this person didn't do this for me, or it starts to become conditional, then the storm becomes bigger, and I lose that loving kindness for this person, and I lose it for myself.
Right.
I'm not centered for myself in that either, because now I'm starting to get frustrated and irritated that the circumstances aren't looking exactly how I need them to look like, based on the expectation that I have in my ego, in my head. So thank you for helping me to be that, at that space at the Gesundheit, where I could really practice that. It really was a loving kindness land for me.
Yeah.
It was a fairyland for me. I would love to go back more and more, just to cultivate that and recenter, and have that be a reunion, a celebration, where I can continue to cultivate that practice of loving kindness for myself, so that I can be stronger, and my battery pack can be stronger, and I can bring that out to others. And I know for you, going back is something for you as well. And what does that mean to you to be able to have more opportunities to go back to the Gesundheit?
Oh, that means more positive healing.
Yes.
You know, being on the land just made me look at life a whole lot different. I was coming off of my whole world literally changed before my eyes. Not only on top of that, I lost a very dear friend of mine who was my brother. So when I went to the land, it was his birthday on the land. So it was a very magical moment of me being connected with my brother. And he's everywhere, you know?
Yeah.
But losing someone is so hard. And when we go through life, we will lose somebody. And the reality is we will die one day.
Yeah.
So when we're here, why it struggled me because I've seen so much destruction. I was also witness to some horrible acts of violence and even done to myself from other men. I have a very bad record of dating men, so that's why I'm not dating. That's why I have that fortress, right? But it's just in life, you know, we find our magical moments and we hold that as this is what that was for me. But it also what you were to me, what I was to you, even the spa girls, you know, the just being around somebody with another struggle that they have to go through and you hear their struggle and you're like, gosh, you know, I'm at where I'm at, but I'm here to encourage and inspire and make it better. And the land for me was something that nobody can take that away from me.
No. And that same experience happened to me with so many people there.
Mm-hmm.
And the one woman, it came from this exercise where we had to share that we loved each other or
oh my
we
God.
loved one another. And it was very easy for me to say I love you to this person. And it was hard for me to hear and receive that they loved me. And I was wondering why. And it was because my ears and my eyes and everything was trying to find ways for this person to hate me or not like me and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
But when I kind of quieted that down, what was coming out so strong was this love that was radiating from through her back, through her heart, through my heart, and out my back. And it was so potent. It was such a hug. And I was like, wow, she loves me. And I just met her. I've never known her before. Come to find out later that week, the night before we were leaving, we were sitting out on a back patio and finishing our dinner. And it came out in a story that we were sharing with each other of the connection that we had and why that love was so strong and that we really did know each other because we had moments that were very similar in our lives and struggles that were very similar. And so us sharing that amount of love really allowed a flower to bloom in just our relationship together, and then also for our own flowers to bloom. It was the most magical thing to
Wasn't
see
it?
how that can happen. That it's not just our own flowers that are blooming, but a flower between the relationship itself. And that came from these situations in our life that we were experiencing that are creating emotions in us. And she felt it, and she felt it from my mother's perspective. You know,
Yes.
I was feeling it from the child perspective.
Yes.
And I was able to help her because she was, struggling with something with her daughter. And so it was this kind of,
That's
yin and yang thing that was happening. That was really beautiful.
My experience, I've, the same thing. It was more of like when she was telling me, I love you, because what we had to do is stand in front of each other, look in the eyes, and I'm just explaining it. look in the eyes and say, I love you repeatedly over and over. And when I said this to her, it was like that cord. There was a cord that like you couldn't see anywhere around you. You were staring in their eyes and just saying, I love you. And halfway through it, she just started crying. And I started crying because she was crying. And when she told me, I felt like I had to break down these bricks.
Yes.
And allow that person to say they love me and me to keep that in here. Just like you said, it went through the heart and out through the back.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I had to remove a wall.
Right.
And I didn't even think of it. Like I didn't even think that's how I would think going into it. But made me realize, Amber, do you have a wall up with people saying, let me do you?
Yeah. Like
You know?
for the love to pass through, like a wall had to come down. Yeah.
But it was walking away. There was a magical moment with her, and it's an unsaid emotion. I don't know how to describe it. Like there was something magical that happened. And when I look at her in the eyes again, just by looking, I already know she loves me and I love her.
That's so beautiful. That is so beautiful.
Yeah. And then it made me cry because
Yeah.
why?
I know. I was yeah. When she started saying I love you, that once the ears and stuff started falling away, like that wall like went down, it was a release. I was like, yes, she loves me and I cannot deny it.
And these are simple love techniques that Patch has come up with
That's
for
so
you
cool.
for you to do with one another, or even for yourself in a mirror. You know, I love, there's so much old school wisdom, and it worked because it was old school wisdom.
Right. Yeah. So let's do more of it. Let's make a pinky promise.
Right? Pinky promise. You better watch out. Those are powerful.
Yes, I did that on the first episode. So just setting that intention that we're going to create more of these blooming flowers.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so when we're sitting in class with Susan, I was literally, the last time that I sat in a classroom was a long time, but this one was really cool because we were out in the country and screen doors, you can feel the wind come through. But she made me get my brain working in a different way when we were the false statements and true statements.
Yes.
And I remember sitting there just trying to rack my brain of what she was asking of me to do, but it got my brain thinking in such a creative way. After she did that, it was like it opened up a whole new can of just amazing, beautiful, magical worms that I wanted to paint, you know?
Yeah. It happened for me too. And I had this cute little rainbow journal. And for me to engage with each person in the beginning when we introduced ourselves, I drew like what the person was sharing about themselves as a way for me to like engage and to just be present. And I think for some people they might have thought that I was, not like engaging or I was like distracted, but it was helping me to be with them. And this, do you want like pieces of this to be used for like another documentary show, like Loving Kindness, like Tea Time, a Cup of Loving Kindness? Would you like to be on for more episodes?
Yes.
Like how do you kind of see some of it?
So I love how we opened it, just like where we two are.
Okay.
Professions.
Okay.
And what we where we're headed, how we met. I love the connection there. I love the similarity with Patch, but we're both also in the medical field.
Yes.
And there's a lot of subjects that we can even talk and touch base on that.
Yeah, like maybe you could teach something as like the guest star, like you're like the expert in the field, and then I would just provide reflection here and there with some commentary.
Because we can even go and, I mean, naturopath that's my degree in. There's so much that you can highlight and talk about for healing care. And it talks about counseling, manipulation,
Okay.
massage, which I can't do anymore.
Okay.
And diet, exercise, herbs, blood testing.
Ooh, I want to learn more about herbs.
Yeah, the herbs are
Maybe we
kind
could
of cool.
set up herbs one day and we could actually make some. We
Yes.
could make like a cool herb together and I could do it with you. Like we could pick out some herbs and I'll get them over here on my end.
Yes.
And then we could do it together.
I think that would be a great idea. Oh my gosh, there's so much we can do.
Oh, cool.
I
Okay.
mean, we can even
Oh, sorry.
like tips of the day of how to stay positive, or
Yeah. So one season could be just with you, like doing just different segments of your teachings with me, and me bringing in my teachings of clinical stuff as well.
Yes.
And then we could always bring it back to Patch and help, highlight why this is important.
Absolutely. I like the bouncing. And
I would like that season to be dedicated to like fundraising for him too.
Yes.
Yeah. I want a free hospital. I need a free hospital.
We need a free hospital.
A fun one where like people are met by people laughing, belly laughing on the ground as they're coming into the hospital. Like that needs to be a thing.
Right.
And that OSHA doesn't kick us out for doing it. Yeah. Wow, I love you so much. This has been a lot of fun.
I love you. Yeah. I mean, this is what needs to happen.
Yeah, I agree. It's our golden year, our golden butterfly year.
Absolutely. And someone's got to do it. I mean, might as well be us.
Yes, let's do it.
We're the chosen one, Huggy.
We are the chosen.
We are the chosen.
As Patch said that thing that was very meaningful to me, that I knew from his heart, this is wholeheartedly what he means, is that he has this care, this warm embrace, this hug that he has for me. What was that experience for you with Patch?
I was coming off the waterfall. That was a very magical moment for me. I had just received some news prior to that, so I was taking some moments to myself to process some of that. So when I came off the waterfall, I walked up to the dacha to grab my yoga mat, and I had my book. And I always dress in flowy clothes, whatever's comfortable. Flower, bright colors. I love the color blue and purples. But so he looked at me and he said, "So, do you always wear that?" And at first I was like, "Well, yeah, he goes, "Well, do you always wear like flowy clothes?" I was, "Yes, I do." He said, "Do people make fun of you?" I go, "Yeah, people make fun of me." He goes, "Do people make fun of you all the time?" And I go, "Well, my life hasn't been very easy." Yes. And he said, "Well, you keep doing that and keep flying like the golden butterfly that you are." I had this book, and it's called The Golden Butterfly. My doctor, my brother is in that book, and I'm trying to find the spot where he's in it.
Okay.
So I was, blown away. He said golden butterfly because I didn't even think that he saw the book. And he just said, "You keep floating and being the golden butterfly that you are." And that just put a big, huge smile on my face. I needed to hear that. I needed to hear that at that moment. I don't know why, but when I did, it put an impact into me to where I am that fucking golden butterfly, and watch out, motherfuckers.
Fly. Let's fly.
Fly.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And I'm witness to it. Your golden, whatever that was, that spirit that still comes through today here in this moment, just helps me to move through difficulties that I have. It's an inspiration, and I'm witness to it, and I'm grateful to be your friend and to walk and fly alongside you.
Thank you. This has been a very magical journey that I've been enjoying this part of my life.
Me too. It's been fun. And it hasn't been that long for me in the sense of this kind of reset that we were talking about.
Yes. 6 months.
Yeah, 6 months. And a lot's happened. And a lot more is going to keep happening. It's a golden year. It's our golden butterfly year.
And I keep saying this, we are in the slingshot right now, about to flat out, you know?
Yeah. Fun.
You know, Patch said that he got made fun of a lot because of his clown clothes.
Okay.
And he had a designer that would actually make his clown clothes.
I love that.
Some of the clothes that was in his closet, he creatively designed those. And I thought that was just a special moment.
Yeah, they're very freeing and flowing.
And I was terrified of clowns. Like when I first met Patch Adams, I was 18 years old at a chiropractic convention in Las Vegas. I had no idea who this guy was.
Yeah. Let
alone, I'm at a chiropractic convention looking at a guy wearing a clown suit. I was wondering who booked this guy.
Right. And like how cool, because like when I saw him in those flowing outfits, it is it has a clowning vibe to it, but it has this, it like the sense that you shared with me, like that when you met my name and you heard my name, or you met me and you heard my name, and you were like, wow, this is someone I can feel safe with.
Yeah.
That's how I felt with him. I felt like there was, oh wow, this is someone I could be loved by in a wholehearted way, you know? And that's what I felt that whole weekend. Everything was taken care of in a communal way. We were caring for one another. We were doing each other's dishes. Each of us had a role, but we didn't have roles. But we just did it because we cared for one another, cared for each other, cared for ourselves. And we just showed up. And we continue to show up.
Even the courting in the mornings.
Yes, that is. Yes.
Yes.
I need that again. I need someone to wake me up to get me going.
What was that cleaning?
Yeah. It started with a T, and I don't remember the word. Yes, Tuto. We always made the people that I cleaned on the floor with, so for people that don't know, we each took a floor in the Dasha, which is this big building and magical building, and
like 5 stories.
Yes, and each of us took a floor that we would clean each day and just get it tidy for the day. And the group that I was with, we always sang the song while we were even cleaning in the space, and we always like changed the words around. Like we kept changing it every verse to a different syllable. It was funny.
Y'all are fun. My group didn't do that.
You're joining the main floor next time.
Yes. I did the farmhouse, and we were cleaning the farmhouse, which
I like the farmhouse.
I do too. The garden. Oh, just put me there.
Yeah, me too. That's where we ate every day. That's where we had class. It felt like another warm space. Oh, it was also where we had like a celebration one night where we got to dance and listen to music and
have a little fun.
Yeah, have a little fun and just enjoy some downtime. And, yeah.
I remember by the fire pit. Me and the lady from Quebec.
Okay.
I can't think of her name right now.
Where was the fire pit at?
The fire pit was right next to the farmhouse.
Oh.
Jerome got it all set up last night.
Okay. Yeah.
That's when Mr. T was trying to attack a shadow.
Oh, I love Mr. T.
I know.
That is the most awesome dog. I was shocked that he did not like go off in the distance and like gather up some critters or anything.
But surprisingly, I mean, he loves to chase
Is he
squirrels.
Vegetarian?
Yeah, right.
No.
He's a 3-year-old in an 8-year-old body.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He doesn't veer off. He's my protector. He doesn't veer off too far away.
There's another funny story where we were getting ready for the clowning trip to Lewisburg, and Amber was up, I think, at the Dasha, and so I was going down with the friend before the whole toilet experience, and I went ahead and told Amber that I would go ahead and put together a little outfit for her. So
Yeah.
I put together a clowning outfit, and it turned out really beautiful. There's one of us where it's all of us. We were driving by a farm, and there were a bunch of sheep, and we wanted to stop by and take a picture.
And I have a bunch of photos that I put in my book. I can send you those photos. And the group, when we were outside of the Dutch or the land, when we all were about ready to go, and then I have a picture of me and Mr. T with his hat. You did such a great job, Huggy, on picking out the outfit.
Thank you.
I was blown away.
Yeah. Thank you.
I mean, I don't know how clowns dressed, but
yeah. My sister taught me some being a cosmetologist, and she taught me to be a cosmetologist. So I have some of those design elements, And then my cousin is a graphic designer, and he helped me with my business and stuff, getting closer to designing some of the graphic art.
Yeah.
So I do have some design principles and things, and then just the fun of like what I thought, your spirit and everything, and that golden butterfly, what I thought it would, really help and inspire people that day while we went out clowning. Yeah.
Yeah, when you came back, I mean, I was already shocked that someone wanted to pick out an outfit for me, right?
Yeah. And it was funny. It was like they were waiting there. It was like the outfits were already waiting there for me to like, it was wild. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but the
spirit was moving you.
Yep. They were right there. I spent no more than 5 minutes. I'm telling you, it was funny. Yeah. I didn't spend very long at all.
Yeah. And when we went to the downtown, and, everybody was like running around like clowns,
Yeah.
This was the first time that I am on Main Street, around clowns, just watching them do their thing in real life. And that was seeing so many smiles and frowns. Even there were some people that were really mad.
The one guy started to play along with the girl. It was so funny. She got tripped up as the clown for a second because like he was playing along so well. I was like, that is hilarious. Like that some people do have that natural curiosity and can go there, and others, the wall maybe be up, might be up, but it's okay that it's up, and it's okay that we're there,
when we went to Walmart.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
That was funny. It was like all of the clowns jumped out and scurried into Walmart.
It was like we were a military of clowns.
We were doing an undercover operation.
Yeah, an undercover clown operation. But we were totally out there. This was a totally uncovered clown operation.
It was. I mean, it was like everybody's going over here. And then we were helping people to their cars. And there was a lady that helped her to... oh gosh, I'm sorry. So she walked her to her car, and then she helped her unload groceries. But there's one of the guy that was in the parking lot, this older gentleman came up to me, and he put his hand on my shoulder, and it kind of startled me at first. Yeah. And he goes, I just want to say thank you for helping my wife to the car.
Aww.
She does not move around much because, we're getting a little older. And he goes, it's not our age, it's the miles on our body.
Awesome. Yeah, that is so cool.
And he gave me the biggest hug. It was just the sweetest moment. It
is sweet.
We helped them.
Yeah, because there was this other person that came by, and they just pulled their car up right to us as we're like all chilling with ice cream, and they got out, and they we're just like, hey, I was driving by and I saw that there were a bunch of clowns. And I just wanted to say you like totally made my day. And I was like, see, like, that's my hope for creating spaces like this where we can be with each other differently, is like,
Absolutely.
no matter what we're going through, we can show up in these fun ways, these loving ways that just go through any of that. It uncovers any of it. It brings it into the light so that we can talk about it, so that we don't have to hide in our pain, or we don't have to feel like we're alone. We can do it together.
Yeah.
I love you, Amber.
I love you too, Huggy.
It's getting a little close to time, so I'm going to take my puppies out and go get my hair done with my sister.
Yay!
But like I said, I'll get this kind of going, and I'll keep chatting with you. I'll reach out like every so often just to let you know how it's going.
Cool.
Okay, good. All right, I love you. Have a good day.
I love you. Have a great day.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye. To be a part of Patch Adams' building of a free silly hospital, go to www.patchadams.org and donate there to be a part of the fun.
Switch on the light. Never mind the cracks you try and hide. I wanna see them. They would make you shine. The glow